Good evening, everyone. I hope you guys had a great day today. I did. Got a lot of work done butchering chickens. I want to give you a little update. I got some inside information from or about Juneau County, Wisconsin, Fort McCoy. I have a dear friend that lives down near Juneau County, and she's got a family member that works for Fort McCoy. Not saying if it's a male, female, whatever. I don't want to get them in trouble. The sheriff's department and the media are dousing the flames of what they call rumors about carjackings and attempts to take vehicles. There's been supposedly a half dozen, but I'm telling you guys with firsthand, person-to-person know-how or what have you, that it is happening. One car in particular did definitely get carjacked on the highway, and there's been about a half dozen others. Why? Why is this happening? Because the government, your United States government, flew these people here, and they're telling them that they can either stay, and that's great, but they can't leave, or they can leave, and they're going to give them a $500 Visa card. $500, but if they leave that Fort McCoy, they're not allowed to come back in. And apparently what's been happening and what my friend was told by her family member that works there is that these people are leaving and they're finding out that $500 doesn't go nowhere in the United States, and they're actually trying to climb the razor wire to get back in. Guys, these Afghanis were set up for failure. The American people that are living around there are set up for failure. This is an active act of destabilization on the American soil, and this administration is guilty as charged. I don't care what anybody says. This is what this is. It's called destabilization. And don't give me any of this crap that when your Irish ancestors came, or I'm Polish, German, and Viking. You know, when they came, they got discriminated against. This is not that. This is not that. We had planes full of military-age Afghanistan, Middle Eastern men. Very few women, very few children. Guys, what do you think is going to happen with a 7-day vetting period? There's no way that they weeded out all the Taliban or the terrorists in these groups. There's no way. Somebody just statistically has slipped through, if not many. But guys, apparently the living arrangements they're cowering the corners. They're actually defecating in the corners, peeing in the corners. They're very scared. But guys, the situation is no good. And don't believe what the media says. The rumors are not rumors. They are reports. It is happening. But of course, your government wants to hide that from you. They don't want you to think anybody can do it.
Washington spent 20 years in Afghanistan with no clearly defined mission. Then they decided to pick a college professor to run the country, to run Afghanistan, a college professor, a guy just like them. Turns out to be every bit as corrupt as they are in the end. And then they get it in a way that's almost calculated to humiliate and diminish the United States. Most disastrous exit from anything in 250 years. So then they look around and they say, how can we make this a little bit worse? I have an idea. Let's import some rapists. That would make it even worse than we've already made it. And they have. The Washington Times reported today that a previously deported rapist was among the Afghan refugees that just landed at Dulles Airport. Of course, let's import rapists, because it's not bad enough. Congressman Tom Tiffany recently toured Fort McCoy in Wisconsin, where 2,000 Afghan evacuees are being held. He says he did not see a single special immigrant visa holder. He also says that all of the evacuees were free to leave the base whenever they wanted to. Congressman Tiffany joins us tonight. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on. First of all, thank you for seeing this for yourself. Tell us what you saw.
So we've seen the debacle in Afghanistan, and it appears the Biden administration is going to double down on it by bringing people who are unvetted into our country. I was at Fort McCoy in southwestern Wisconsin last Friday, where there were 2,000 evacuees from Afghanistan. And what we found out is none of them were there on a special immigration visa. They were all there on parole. And for our listeners, the special immigration visa is a thorough vetting process that can take up to 2 years to find out if a person should be coming to the United States. The parole authority is granted to the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, and he could just wave people in. They have circumvented, the Biden administration has circumvented the SIV process, and they're just bringing people in on parole. Second thing that we saw, Tucker, was that people could leave the base, including without the authority of the general that is overseeing Fort McCoy.
So we've got two islands off the coast. I'm not talking about Guantanamo Bay. I'm talking about Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. And I don't think any of these refugees have been moved to Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard. They've all been moved to places like Wisconsin and Maine and like far away from the centers of power. Is there anything we can do to change that? If we're going to import thousands of unvetted Afghan Pashtun tribesmen, why aren't we moving them to the places where the people who make these decisions live?
Well, that would really be a good idea. But what I have suggested, and there are Afghans that should be able to come into our country. I've talked to servicemen in my district who said there are people that should be able to come from Afghanistan because they've given their, some of them have given almost their lives being threatened by the Taliban.
Yep.
And they should be able to come to the United States. However, these people are not being vetted thoroughly, and what should happen is they should go to a safe third country like Qatar, someplace like that,